Well, hey everybody, it is afternoon out here already. I got a lot of things I got to be doing inside the house with PEX, getting the plumbing all put together. However, I got to, like often happens up here, you've got multiple things going on at once. And when you're doing one thing, you've got to be doing the preparatory work to get ready for your next job. One of the jobs I've got coming up is to connect this well to the house. Now, I've never had a well dug before, so I thought that the well included the pump and everything else, and I just had to come and connect a line and run it over to the house. Since they're going to be pulling the electricity across here, I was going to join up to that trench and lay this line in about 18 inches above that one. Problem is, I pulled this cap off the other day. I don't have a pump. That's not included. I checked my contract. That's not part of it. Felt kind of silly. I should have known that sort of thing, but you don't know what you don't know. Now I've got to figure out how to put in a pump for this thing. I've been talking to some people, been going online at Tractor by Net, and lots of people there know lots of stuff like this, and they've weighed in a lot and given me some real good information. So I'm trying to pull together some of the information, and one of the things I'm trying to figure out, I know this is a 210-foot deep well. I'm trying to figure out how far down before you hit water. So I've got a 300-foot tape measure, and I'm going to put a padlock on the end of it, drop it down in there. I'm told that when you hit water, you can hear it because the cylinder carries water. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You'll notice that you can't see much down there, but you can hear the echo coming back up. And I'm hoping that when I get to the point where I hit water, I can hear a little bit of a splash. Again, I've been told that it's rather distinctive and I should have no problem. I was expecting to pull this thing off here and see a hose hanging from a pitless valve in there, but there's no pitless valve. And there's no well pipe because there's no pump down there. So I'm just gonna start lowering this thing down here. I hope this works. I hope nothing goes wrong. Well, we're going down. We're at 38 feet. Ooh, I heard water. I heard water, 59 feet. Right there. So y'all can hear it. You should be able to hear that. Set that on the ground. So that is 58 feet. So what that tells me is we've got about 150 feet of water in this thing. Because this is a 210-foot well. My water level is at 58 feet. It's a great thing to note there's water in there and it hasn't dried up because this thing was dug in, February or March, I believe it was March of 2018. Look at that. Nice, clean looking water on there, which of course I just contaminated with a padlock, but I think it'll be all right. Doesn't smell like sulfur or anything, smells pretty good. We got an answer now, so it gives me an idea when I go and talk to the people at the drill and supply place and I start to get together my pump and the hose and everything I need. I can give them the information of how far down it is before I hit water versus how deep the well is, and they can help me out and help me choose the right pump. Well, I'm back at the plumbing. It took a little bit of work, but I have the supply lines in the bathroom run. Those two lines are for the faucet, for the vanity, and those two lines are to feed the shower. Had a little bit of trouble with that line yesterday. I ended up crimping it, trying to get it through that wall. So what I did was go ahead and expand that hole a little bit to make it fit. The only purpose of that higher wall is to hold drywall and separate these two rooms. It is not load bearing, so should not be a problem. Just got to make sure that when they put the drywall up there, nobody pokes a hole in it, and that would be catastrophic. So I'm getting ready to go ahead and terminate these in here. This is a relatively simple task, and hopefully it won't cause many problems. I'm sure any plumbers who are watching are going into shock at the way that I do my plumbing, but I'm trying to organize it, keep it tightened up so it doesn't look bad, so it runs properly and fits properly. I'm gonna go ahead and do the cold line first. Okay, hold that while it shrinks back down. Now I'm gonna go to the other side of the house and I'm gonna see if we can start getting that side set up. Well, I got over to the other side of the house and realized I wasn't done yet. One of the beautiful things about PEX-A versus PEX-B is the tight bend radius that you can have, which is why I can come this way and then go straight into that 2x4. And I did for both of those. I've got the cold and the hot right there. And what I forgot was there's a toilet in here. You're gonna have a small shower right here. And you have a toilet right here. And these are SIPS walls. Well, it's 6 inches of foam sandwiched together with 2 pieces of OSB. The problem that I would run into is it needs a water supply. And the toilet usually has a water supply right back there. So the only way for me to do it is to come across. I could either come across here on this wall, because that's going to be a wall, and then run a line down this way and down, or I can have a line that comes through here and runs this way and down. And what we decided to do was just run a silver braided line across and down, and that's what's going to feed the toilet. I'm going to put there's going to be an outlet right there, but I've got to feed that cold line off of something, and it's going to be fed off the shower. This isn't like when you're in a dormitory or in the barracks and somebody flushes a toilet and that cold water goes away and you get roasted up in the shower. If you're in the shower, there's not likely to be anybody in the toilet because that's one room. This should be fine. And just hold that. Now we're good to go. This is a little bit more pricey than a PEX crimping tool, but it's a lot easier to use.
PEX Waterline has made it possible for the average person to run their own plumbing or do plumbing repairs at home. You don't have to learn how to sweat copper pipe, which is a skill that takes a fair amount of time. You do have to be cautious about the way that you route the pipe, and make sure that you don't have any kinks or pigtails in it. This is the time to get it right.
I don't have enough line to make it all the way around over to here, which was what my original thought. I was going to do all my routing of the plumbing lines over here, but I don't think that's going to work. So the line comes in that hole. It's going to come in, have it go to the pressure tank. From there are some very fancy PEX manifolds with on-off switches. Unfortunately, I haven't found any that are designed for PEX-A. So I've kind of got to design what I'm doing myself. And what I'm going to be using is some manifolds, just like the one over on the other side that had 3 outlets. I'm going to have it set up so that it'll feed one section at a time with a turn-off lever. So if I have a problem in this bathroom, I can cut the water off to this bathroom and the rest of the house will still have water. Same thing with the kitchen. If there's a problem in the kitchen, I can shut it down so everything else in the house is still functioning, but that can get fixed. Good evening, back up on the build tonight. It's midweek after work. Come up here, trying to get a little bit more done. I've got 9 lines that I've got to run into this bathroom. And I figure if I can get 2 of them run tonight, then that's 2 that I don't have to do any other time. If I can get any more than that, that's a bonus. So I figure during the middle of the week, I'll come up here and pick at it. And hopefully in about 2 weeks, I'll be done with plumbing. Straight over here. I'm going to end up, before they do the drywall, I'm going to bring these lines in, but I'm going to have to put a piece of OSB on this wall from top to bottom, because I have to have a solid substrate to mount all of my lines to for organization. And I'm probably going to have to do that here and here over on this side, and I may end up doing it on this wall as well for the electrical. So I may end up basically boxing this room in, and that'll probably happen this weekend. And I was hoping to keep this open until I had all the electric lines pulled through, because it just makes it so much easier. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I've covered this before, but one of the things you want to try and do is not have any kinks in it. Well, you got to make sure there's no kinks in it. But you also want to try to not have any corkscrews or spirals in it. The way to do that is to unroll the line as you go. You can't just pull it out, because if you do, you'll start getting spirals in it. And that is how you get kinks, and it's how you get failures in the line. It also causes turbulence with the water, and impede your flow, and cause you some problems. I don't need to drill a hole through that, because there's a little more than 1.5 inches there. That is a mechanical room, so it doesn't have to be pretty, and you've got to make things work. So I'm getting ready to run another line. I'm trying to group them together, both the hot and the cold that are going across. So this shower is going to have 2 shower heads. It's going to have a conventional shower head, and right here it's going to have a rain shower head. And they're both fed off their own lines. I used 25 feet, and I built in plenty of excess to make the run from over there to over here. Now I'm coming about 3.5, 4 feet less to get to this one than I did for those, and I've got 20 feet to work with. I think I should be fine. Like I said, I built in a lot of excess on both sides. Your control unit is probably going to be right about here, and I built this in to come down below that, because I want to have enough to make sure that I've got everything taken care of and I have some leeway with it. Same thing over here. The way you can tell with these, if you've never done it before, if you're going to be running some PEX line, they have a measurement in feet after every label grouping. So this one goes from 24,300 to 24,320.
Hello.
I'm just looking at the area in which I'm just looking at the area in which the vent is going to go through here, and it kind of should go straight up, and I've got 2 lines above it. What
to do.
That vent has to come through here. I got to cut this out so the vent goes through, so that it can vent, and so that the vanity functions properly and water drains. So you don't get a vacuum water.
So they can't go over there.
They can't go through there. It was a nice thought, but it ain't gonna work, so I gotta drill some more holes.
Okay, I'm gonna go clean up after you.
I make mistakes and I'm gonna share them. If you've never done this kind of thing before, you also will make some mistakes. So, this line right here is a vanity. That means that that's where the water is going to drain. It also requires that I have a vent. Now that vent, the way that that works is, underneath of the vanity that's gonna sit right here, I'll have a P-trap that goes down and then connects to this pipe. And it's gonna connect on a Y that slopes down sharply. That water goes down the pipe, and on the top of it, it's gonna continue upward, and that is the vent. Now, in order for that to work, it's gotta go straight up, and then it gets routed that direction up and through the roof, so that it always is able to draw air, and you don't get a vacuum lock. This is not optional, this is code, it's a requirement. Some places people will use it's called a Schluter valve. That's not appropriate for this situation. I need to make a proper vent. In order to make that work, I gotta move the spot where those lines come through there, because that's gonna get cut away. That's not gonna be available. Came up here hoping to get 2 lines done, ended up getting 6 lines done.
6 lines.
So that is the normal shower in the master shower. That's the rain shower head. That is the vanity. I still need to get the tub, which sits over here. And then inside this room, I need to get the toilet. The other side is done. Let me, since I'm thinking of that right now. When I was over here last time, I was showing everybody the mistake I made and how I had to put a T in the line, and I was kind of proud of myself. And then I realized I wasn't done yet. I didn't have the lines run down long enough. I only ran the lines down in this shower to about here. Well, that's great, because that would have given me enough to get it right to where it comes out of the top for the water, but that's not where you need to run the lines. The lines have to come down to the control unit, which sits about here. So instead of pulling those all the way out and cutting them off the manifold over on that side, I had one that I had to cut off of the T and replace the one that connected to the T, and then I cut that and put an elbow there. So I didn't waste any line, I didn't have to pull that out. The only difference is instead of having one line that goes all the way down for the, I believe it's the cold, I now have an elbow in there. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I'm pretty happy with the way these things are shaping up. I like the way these manifolds look. They'll fit in the wall just fine. All the pipes I need to have in the wall are fine. I've got to locate the pieces that I need for the laundry. This is a learning experience for me. I've never done anything this extensive before as far as running all new stuff. I have remodeled a few houses and had to put some new plumbing in them, but I've never had to do everything like this and route it. So it's an experience. Well, I think that's all we've got for right now. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. That's pretty. I don't take enough time to take a look at it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button. Come on back and check us out next time at Breakheart Orchard. We'll be here. I've got the cold and the hot right there. Hot and the cold. I've got the cold and the hot right there.